The time is precisely 6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Chandima Veerakorn. Headlines. Travel restrictions imposed again from May 21st, Friday. COVID-19 infected patients will be directed to treatment facilities closest to their residences. Colombo Port City Commission draft bill will be debated in Parliament on Wednesday and Thursday. Public and civil organizations get the opportunity to submit proposals and recommendations on electoral reforms. In news overseas, COVID-battered India braces for cyclone Taukte. Sports, World Heavyweight title showdown between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua will take place in Saudi Arabia. Local stories in detail. Head of the National Operations Centre to prevent the outbreak of COVID, Army Commander General Shavendra Silva says that travel restrictions will be imposed island-wide from 21st Friday 11 p.m. to 25th Tuesday 4 a.m. Travel restrictions will be imposed again from 25th Tuesday 11 p.m. to 28th Friday 4 a.m. A woman who has been arrested at the Bodhia Junction in Mutwal today for the possession of narcotic drugs, police media spokesperson DIG Ajit Rohana said a stock of narcotics including ice and heroin were found from the possession of the 30-year-old suspect from Vallampitiya. The stock of narcotics is estimated to be worth 9.5 million rupees. Police have seized the three-wheeler in which the woman had been travelling and arrested its driver, who is a resident of Mulleriyawa. 7 police stations in the Mullaitivu Police Division have obtained restraint orders preventing the week-long Mullivaikal commemoration from tomorrow. Police have obtained the restraint order against individuals who were preparing to organize a commemoration near the Mullivaikal beach. Accordingly, Mullaitivu, Mullayavalai, Puthukudiripu, Mankulam, Oddusdan and Mallavi police stations have been taken the restraint orders. General Secretary of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, MP Sagara Karyavasam, has requested the opposition to refrain from levelling baseless allegations when the government is taking all necessary measures to save the people from the pandemic. He rejected the accusations levelled by the opposition in connection with the COVID fund. Minister Professor G.L. Pires says that the Colombo Port City Commission draft bill will be debated in Parliament on Wednesday and Thursday. The determination of the Supreme Court about the draft bill is scheduled to be informed to Parliament by the Speaker tomorrow. During a media briefing today, the minister said that the government expects to make amendments according to the recommendation of the Supreme Court and pass the draft bill following amendments. A select committee has been appointed to submit amendments to the election system. The inaugural meeting took place today at the Parliament complex. The select committee has been given 6 months to present necessary amendments. The public and civil organizations can make proposals and recommendations before the 30th of next month. The minister said the government wants to open schools soon, but health security should be ensured before opening the schools. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with the local stories, Chairman of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, Professor G.L. Pires, says that the party has made a large contribution to provide relief to the people affected by the pandemic. He pointed out that the party has commenced a program to provide 10,000 beds and equipment to intermediate treatment centres. During a media briefing today, the minister said that the government has given priority to minimize the number of people getting infected. The government has launched a streamlined vaccination process. He said that the request has been made to give priority for teachers in the vaccination program. The minister pointed out that a large number of teachers in the Western Province have already been vaccinated. The Ministry of Health says that a decision has been taken to direct COVID-19 infected patients to treatment facilities or intermediate care centres closest to their residences for the necessary treatment. The decision has been taken after considering the severe stress that affects individuals and their families when they become infected with the virus. The decision was taken during the meeting of the Special Action Task Force Review Committee, which was held this morning, chaired by Minister of Health Pavitra Vanyarachi and attended by State Minister of Primary Healthcare, Epidemics and COVID Disease Control, Sudarshani Fernandopulle. New members have been appointed to the Hindu Cultural Fund. Secretary to the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs, Professor Kapila Gunawardena is the chairman of the 8-member board. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, attending the function to appoint members, said that Hindu Religious and Cultural Affairs Department and Hindu Cultural Fund are entrusted with the responsibility of further developing religious and spiritual activities of about 2.5 million Hindus in Sri Lanka. The director of Kandy National Hospital says that they are managing the healthcare system efficiently despite a hike in COVID cases in the hospital. Director of the hospital, Dr. Chandana Vijayasinghe, told SLBC that special arrangements are in place to handle positive patients according to best medical practices. Director of the Kandy National Hospital, Dr. Vijayasinghe, said that the hospital is in a process of enhancing facilities to handle the COVID situation. To end the local news, the headlines again. Travel restrictions imposed again from May 21st, Friday. COVID-19 infected patients will be directed to treatment facilities closest to their residences. Colombo Port City Commission draft bill will be debated in Parliament on Wednesday and Thursday. Public and civil organizations get the opportunity to submit proposals and recommendations on electoral reforms. That ends local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vedha Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya.
Head of the National Operations Centre for Prevention of COVID-19 Outbreak, Army Commander General Shavendra Silva, said the criteria for the decision to treat asymptomatic COVID-19 patients at their own homes will be issued in the coming weekend. General Silva said that there are 3 methods in which patients will be treated. Patients with severe illnesses will be treated at hospitals, non-critical patients at intermediate care centres, and asymptomatic patients can remain at home under medical advice. He said the decision to whether or not to remain at home will be taken by doctors. The Army Commander said that if a patient does not have the facilities to remain at home, treatment centres will be available for them. That ends the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedha Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, Environment Minister Mahinda Amaravira appealed to the public not to use polythene and plastic decorations for the Vesak festival. The minister has urged the public to refrain from using plastic and polythene decorations as much as possible during this Vesak full moon day to prevent massive environmental damage caused by plastics and polythene. That ends Watchlight. We move on to the world news. Headlines. COVID-battered India braces for cyclone Taukte. Lockdowns ease in England. The World Health Organization says long working hours are killing hundreds of thousands of people a year. India's western state of Gujarat is braced for cyclone Taukte, reported to be the strongest storm to hit the region since 1998. At least 6 were killed and thousands evacuated in the last 2 days amid heavy rains accompanying the storm. The meteorological department said the storm has now intensified into an extremely severe cyclonic storm. Meanwhile, India has begun distributing a new locally developed drug to treat COVID-19 symptoms. Authorities have approved 2DG and it is to be first used in hospitals across the capital, Delhi. People must continue to play their part in stopping coronavirus, Boris Johnson has said, as lockdown rules ease in England, Wales and most of Scotland. Millions can now socialise indoors in limited numbers, hug loved ones and visit pubs and restaurants inside. The ban on foreign travel has also been lifted and replaced with new rules. According to the World Health Organization, long working hours are killing hundreds of thousands of people a year. The first global study of its kind showed 745,000 people died in 2016 from stroke and heart disease due to long hours. The report found that people living in Southeast Asia and the Western Pacific region were the most affected. The WHO also said the trend may worsen due to the coronavirus pandemic. To end the world news, the headlines again. COVID-battered India braces for cyclone Taukte. Lockdowns ease in England. The World Health Organization says long working hours are killing hundreds of thousands of people a year. That ends the world news. Moving on to development news. Sri Lankan Engineering, the engineering and maintenance arm of Sri Lankan Airlines, has entered into a strategic collaboration with UK-based Avensis Aviation to offer maintenance service for the passenger-to-freighter conversions for Airbus A320 and A330 aircraft. The first output of this collaboration was the PTF conversion of an Airbus A320 aircraft for the operator Fids Air, which was recently completed on time and within the budget. That ends development news.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
And on sports news, it's boxing, tennis and cricket. Taking a look at boxing news first, Tyson Fury says his world heavyweight title showdown with Anthony Joshua will take place in Saudi Arabia on 14th August. The all-British bout has been billed as one of the biggest in heavyweight boxing for decades, and the winner will become undisputed champion. Joshua holds WBA, WBO and IBF belts, while Fury is WBC champion. The fight will see all 4 belts on the line in a heavyweight bout for the first time in history. Meantime, in tennis, Rafael Nadal won his 10th Italian Open with a 7-5, 1-6, 6-3 victory over the world number 1 Novak Djokovic in Rome. Both players dropped severe serve early on in the first set before Nadal took it after securing the key break at 5-5. Djokovic dominated the second set but paid for not taking 2 break points in the 5th game of the decider. And in cricket, the International Cricket Council, ICC, says it has concluded its investigation into the documentary program Cricket's Match Fixers, broadcast by Al Jazeera on 27th May 2018. The statement said no charges will be brought under the ICC anti-corruption code against any of the 5 participants to the code who featured in the program due to insufficient, credible and reliable evidence. That ends sports news.
My wife always sets a full lunch table even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Chris World Limited will be listed on the Empower Board of the Colombo Stock Exchange with effect from tomorrow. The company will be listing 30 million ordinary voting shares and will be classified under industrial sector. The listing of Chris World Limited is followed after a successful initial public offering IPO held on 27th April 2021. The IPO was oversubscribed on the first day itself and raised 56.25 million rupees. That ends Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
On economic news, the central bank bought $62.81 million from the domestic foreign exchange market in April as the monetary authority was making net absorptions in its quest to rebuild reserves out of non-debt creating foreign currency flows. April marked the third consecutive month of net purchases of foreign currency after the central bank bought $75.31 million in March, reaching the highest monthly net absorption since August 2020. That ends economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And finally, on the weather report, the Met Department says showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the central, Sabragamur, Uva, eastern and north-central provinces during the evening or at night. Fairly heavy falls above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in central and Uva provinces. Several spells of showers will occur in the western and northwestern provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts. That ends the weather report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And to end this bulletin of news, the headlines again. Travel restrictions imposed again from May 21st, Friday. COVID-19 infected patients will be directed to treatment facilities closest to their residences. Colombo Port City Commission draft bill will be debated in Parliament on Wednesday and Thursday. Public and civil organizations get the opportunity to submit proposals and recommendations on electoral reforms. In news overseas, COVID-battered India braces for cyclone Taukte. In sports, World Heavyweight title showdown between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua will take place in Saudi Arabia. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. It's over to Victor Raj, my friend and colleague, to keep you entertained. Over to you, Victor.